We are live. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is great. Um, just getting on today, making sure that we're continuing to start the vibe of what's going on with Bomba Live. A lot of us are just ready, excited. I know that I am. I know my team is super excited, and we're just ready to get here and do what we have to do for Bomba Live, just so that our cultura, our Boricua, everything about being Hispanic is something that's highlighted in a very positive way. I had the pleasure of finding Eli Castro actually originally through just being on the web around Christmas time a few years ago, maybe about 4 years ago, I think. I saw his Burrito Sabanero video. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. He has a lot of amazing content on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and you're like, who is Eli Castro? All you need to do is just look him up. So Eli is preparing. We were just talking a few minutes ago. He'll be on in a second. So you will see Eli Castro very soon. Feel free to share your comments, your questions, whatever it is. We're not going to keep him too long. We don't want to take up a lot of his time. We really just wanted to kind of get everybody on just so that you can see who he is. I saw him firsthand and met him in person on my birthday last year, November 8th. We went to the NJ Pack Center and we were able to meet him. And his show, Made in Puerto Rico, actually had us laughing from start to finish. I don't think I was able to drink my wine or eat any of my food the entire time. I think I drank it after. We laughed literally from start to finish. So I think you guys are going to enjoy seeing him the day of Bomba Live and just kind of talking to him and just getting to know who he is as a comedian. Again, I continue to say over and over again, if you guys have never seen any of his content, you've never been on any of his lives, you definitely need to start following his Facebook page as well as following his Instagram page. If you go onto his Instagram page, you'll see that he goes live with folks at night, and it's hilarious. I've gotten on. He actually he he cold calls people. So he cold called me one night, and I'm an idiot. My hands were wet. I thought I was declining the call, and instead of just ignoring it, I accepted it, and I was in the shower. So those are the types of things that you will see. I see that he's back, so I'm going to bring him in so people can see him, and you guys can find out who this amazing Boricua is because he's phenomenal. So I'm going to welcome him in. Hi, Ellie.
How are you?
Great. Good afternoon.
Todo
How's
bien,
how
gracias.
how's Florida? Caliente.
Yeah. It's a typical summer weather, bien caluroso, and then it'll rain like the world's gonna end from like 4 to 7.
Oh my goodness. It actually just rained like that in Philadelphia about an hour ago. I was sitting in my room and then everything burst out. And when I went to the living room, my Venetian blinds were like flying and everything. So,
Pues viene para acá ahora. That means
yeah,
that we'll get it soon. Yeah.
yeah. So, again, I don't want to take up much of your time. We appreciate you doing this for us today.
You're already taking up too much, so let's wrap it up.
So really quickly, I just want people to know who Ellie Castro is. I know who you are because you caught me in the shower. I know who you are because I've been to your show. But I don't know you personally. People wanted me to get you on the show and they're like, he's your homie. I'm like, no, I just accidentally got caught on his live twice. But I'm a huge fan. I went to your show and your show is phenomenal. You are amazing. And I just want other people to know who Ellie is. So I just wanted you to tell us who Ellie is. I mean, you were a lawyer. How did you become a comedian? How did that happen?
Yeah, Rayo. You want me to tell you the story of how I went from a lawyer to comedian? How much time you got?
We got all the time you can give us.
So, wow. So, interestingly enough, I wrote a book about this, and I've been very blessed that I have an agent that read the manuscript, and so we're just putting some of the finishing touches on it. But it's such an interesting topic que me dio por escribir un libro about that because it's an unusual journey, right? You don't hear a lot of prosecutors turn criminal defense lawyers turn comedians. Pero to entertain has always been a dream of mine, right? The way my tío Luciano would gather the family in la sala and make them laugh. particularly how he can make my father laugh, because my father never laughed. And so, being un hombre serio, anytime I would see my father laugh, it would transform me, because I thought, my Tio Luciano is doing the impossible. Nobody can make my father laugh. Nothing. You understand? And so, a couple of years later, while I was a teenager, I saw my father. He was watching a stand-up comedy concert on TV, uh, and he was laughing hard, and he was making sounds that I didn't think it were possible. Like he was giggling, and my father, like my father for pictures, when they'd be like cheese, my father would be like, and you grew so accustomed to that, que after a while you would see a smile where there was none. ¿Tú me entiendes?
Yeah.
Like people would be like, "¿Por qué tu papá tan serio?" But you got so used to it, you be like, "No, he's kind of smiling." If you zoom in a little bit,
Lo puede ver.
it's there. And when I saw him watch this stand up show, he was giggling and and he was laughing so hard I felt uncomfortable being around him, because I didn't know what was
We're
going to
next to it.
happen. No lo conocía.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? That's power, man. To be able to use humor to to, and not only entertain but to change people.
Yeah.
Pero I grew up in a very strict traditional Puerto Rican home, and my parents were college graduates, which meant that I had no choice. College was like high school. There was never a question: Are you going to go to college? Oh my God, you're going to go to college. You want to die, or you want to go to college? Okay, I'll go to college. It's like it was never a choice. It was never like a big deal. It was never like, oh my God, I got admitted. Yes, of course you did. You know what I mean? And it got to a point where I wanted to be me, and I wanted to act, and I wanted to entertain. Um, and my father didn't support it, right? Because I said, Papi, I want to be an actor. This was in high school. And he was like, why you want to be an actor? Queso. You can act whenever you want, okay? You can go and be an actor in the living room. You can be an actor in your room, right? Oh, look, I'm acting right now. I'm acting like I'm interested in what you're saying. Huh? How am I doing? And so he insisted on me, getting a proper formal education. So I got a bachelor's degree in psychology because that subject matter came easy to me. My mother was a social worker, so I kind of had her genes in that. And then I went to study and got a master's in communication with an emphasis in television production, because I loved television. I love television production. I love the creative side of it. Again, it was my way of, if I couldn't be an actor, that I could be behind the scenes, right? Something that my father would still find appealing, right?
Yeah.
And so I studied in Boston, which was amazing, and I liked it. I did a documentary for my master's thesis called "Como Cantante de Salsa," and I interviewed several renowned Puerto Rican salsa singers to document how un cantante de salsa in Puerto Rico can't make a living in Puerto Rico. He has to travel, right? He's almost like a gypsy, traveling the world trying to make a living for music que en sí nació en Nueva York y se crió en Puerto Rico, right? So I was very lucky to have interviewed people like Tito Rojas and Gilberto Santa Rosa and Tony Vega. Back we're talking about mid '90s, and they gave me a shot, and I was very very proud of that. And so I graduated with that, and and I wanted to know what I could do, and I didn't really want to go into television necessarily as a cameraman, right? And I felt like I was stuck in between. Like I got a master's in television production, but it's not very well respected, right? Like they don't really care. So I talked to my father, and he wasn't very happy that I had gotten a master's in television production. And I wrote about this in the book, and I'll never forget it. We were at a deli buying groceries for mom so she could cook. And I said, Papi, you weren't happy when I graduated with psychology. You weren't happy when I graduated with my master's. What is it that you want? And he said, you know, your grandfather, tu abuelito, built houses, right? In Puerto Rico. So I became an engineer. That's something better, right? Okay. Well, now it is your job to be better than me. And I was like, oh my God, really? I mean, maybe I can just be an engineer that likes to smile. How about that? Okay, that's definitely the next step up. Porque tú eres un engineer bien enfogonado, and I could be a happy engineer. And so he was like, no, you have to be a lawyer. A lawyer, whoa, a lawyer does something better than an engineer, right? A lawyer, oh my God. And so I was always driven to make my parents proud, to make my family proud. That, for better or worse, no me importa. That's what's always fueled me. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to law school. And so I started thinking towards the end of my master's degree, what I could do in law school, because I didn't want to start over again. So I thought, you know what? I think law school is brilliant because I can go to law school and become a television executive. Yes. I can combine my master's in television production with my legal degree. I'm Puerto Rican. Hello. There can't be that many of us. I'm going to be a television executive. And then what drove me was I said, I could go into Univision and I could fire Don Francisco, because back then he was still doing Sábado Gigante. So I thought, oh my God, I could revolutionize the Hispanic entertainment industry from the inside. Yes. I can finally get rid of Don Francisco. Yes. I can cancel Sábado Gigante. Yes. And I was like a villain. Tú sabes, I was like, yes. Ay, lo quiero matar, So I went into law school. Other people went into law school like, I want to change the world. I want to change the criminal justice system. I said, I want to fire Don Francisco. Yes. Sacar ese gol sucio. Botarlo para la calle. Right. So I started studying, and I got an interview with a producer in Hollywood, in LA, at my last semester of law school. Okay. Let me know if I'm rambling.
No. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm interested. So go ahead.
No importa. This is me and you. Yo no veo a más nadie anyway. Estoy hablando
Está bien.
contigo.
Está bien.
So in that meeting, I thought, oh my God, this guy was producing bilingual programming. So I thought, this is it. Tú sabes, I'm about to graduate from law school. Okay. I'm going to go over there with my degrees, with my vision, with my desire to botar a Don Francisco. And I'm going to be a hit, tú sabes. Y el tipo, I'm not going to say his name porque no vale la pena. El tipo left me in the lobby waiting for like an hour and a half. Pero tú sabes, you're just happy to be there. Tú sabes, a ver, maybe they're busy, tú sabes. Y nada, no había nadie. Just the receptionist, tú sabes. And I was like, maybe no ha llegado. No, él llegó. Okay. But, we have that meeting at 9. Okay, está bien. No, it's okay. No, I'm fine. Tú sabes, I just flew across the country for this. Pero no, it's okay. No, I'm on a student's budget. Tú sabes, no, it's a rental car. I'll probably get a ticket. But that's okay. That's, take your time. Finally sees my resume, almost like if I was selling him a magazine subscription, Like, sí, un hispano. Yeah, okay, qué nice, okay, pues mira, there's nothing for you here, good luck with your studies, very dismissive. But he felt bad that I had flown all the way across the country for this waste of a time, stupid meeting. So he invited me to a gala that night that he was going to be a part of. Okay, this is where it gets good, right? So I'm like, gala, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, I just packed nothing. I packed like jeans, a shirt. So now I have to go and get something that looks a little bit like worthy of a gala, right? So I go, okay, me busco unos pantalones, unos zapatos chippy chape, pero I polish them, whatever. I got to look the part because, this was a big deal. I get my stuff. I go to the gala and I find him and he's like, he knows everybody. I don't know anybody, right? I don't know who's who. So he sits me down. Sit aquí, sit right here, sit right here. This guy, this kid is the student, law student. He's gonna, he's got dreams. I, you know, you can't get more dismissive than that. Hey, the tipo, he's right there. He's got dreams. He's studying the law.
Háblale.
Yeah, talk to him if you want. But I felt bad. My guilt brought him here. So I sat next to the comedian for that evening. The comedian for that evening at the gala was Fluffy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love him.
Back then, he didn't go by Fluffy. He was Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
He was about 3 years into the business then, so he was relatively new, starting out. And so he was doing like Bill Clinton jokes and everything. You know what I mean? So I sat next to him, and Gabriel was sweet, real nice. And he was like, "Entonces aquí, what are you doing?" So we kind of talked, and I told him, I said, "Listen, I really wanted to do stand up. I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be an actor. My father discouraged it. I did a little bit of it while I was in law school. I was about to graduate. I've done a little bit. I kind of like it, but I figured I could be an executive, right? I could be a manager, a producer, or something. Use my law degree." And I'm with him. I'm with a producer, and he goes, "Nah, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be with that guy. You don't want to do that. We need more. We need more creators. We need more talent. You don't want to be a producer. You want to be on the talent side." And we talked about it, man, and he opened my eyes. And then he got up on stage and he killed. He did amazing. And I left LA a semester before my law school graduation, knowing that what I wanted to do was to create.
Wow.
That I didn't want to be like that producer. I wanted to be like Fluffy, and I wanted to provide more material.
Yeah.
So I graduated from law school. I couldn't take the bar. I dropped out of the bar. I was discouraged. I didn't know what to do. I went and worked for the Florida Marlins back then, the Florida Marlins, the baseball team. I'm a big baseball fan. I got fired from there. And I just wasn't motivated. I didn't know what to do. So my girlfriend at the time, my Jesus, I'm losing count. My second wife back then. I met her in law school in the same. We went to law school together. So she graduated a year and a half after me. So I said, you know what? Graduate. Let's get married, because I do that. I get married every 5 years. Let's get married, because she was gung ho. Her dream was always to be a prosecutor. Her dream was to go to law school. Like, she was like set. You know what I mean? Yo era el perdido. We did. She graduated from law school. We got married like 3 days later. 3 days after that, we started studying for the bar exam together.
Wow.
We took the bar exam together 2.5 months after we got married. We passed it with almost identical marks.
Oh wow.
And because she had interned at the Orlando's prosecutor's office, she was going to be guaranteed a job. I went in with her por pena, because they were like, "Ay, está casada con un tipo. Let's just bring him in too." And I swear to God, I swear to you, I got hired because of her.
Wow.
They hired her on the spot, and they said, "Hey, you too."
Está bien.
That changed my life, because that was my first real professional job as a prosecutor. I had no idea. And they hired me as a prosecutor. They were like, "You're going to be assigned to arraignments." I didn't know what an arraignment was. I didn't even know how to spell it. Okay. I just graduated from law school, and I was like, "Arraignment, ¿qué es eso?" Look that up. Write that down. We gotta look that up. It's arraignment. Oh, tú sabes lo que es arraignment. Ah, mira esta, you know everything. Okay, pues then tell me, what's arraignment? And so I did that I signed a contract for 3 years. In less than a year, I was hired away to work for a criminal defense firm, who almost doubled my pay. And then I started seeing how much money I was bringing in for them. I had no interest in this. Pero I was like, man, yo estoy trabajando and they're buying cars and houses, tú sabes. Yeah, rayo. And I'm starting to see the money, the money I was bringing in was enough to pay me, and then the rest was going to them. So I told Sandra, my second wife, my wife back then, I said, Nana, I know you like being a prosecutor, but there's money in criminal defense. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to do all this work and they're going to make all this money, I want the money.
Yeah.
So she supported me, and I opened up my own law firm. And I loved it because I loved being, my boss. I love being it. I don't like answering to people. It's never worked out. You know what I mean? And y gracias a Dios, todo nos salió bien. And we did that for a few years. And when she got pregnant, she was able to leave the prosecutor's office and join me. And we worked side by side as criminal defense lawyers in some very big trials. Matter of fact, I don't think I've told the story that many times, but Sandra and I did a trial defending a Puerto Rican kid accused of a second-degree felony. He was innocent, pero she was not 9 months pregnant.
Wow.
And Sandra and I were always doing the trials together, and she to this day remains a very, very good friend of mine. And so after that, I just decided, llegó un tiempo where I was like, you know what, I've done all this. And I had been writing while I was a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney, and I had been doing shows almost like on a parallel track. Y llegó un punto where I was like, I can't do both. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I jumped in '08 with Sandra's help and her blessing. She said, go ahead. My son was not even 2. And I said, I'm going to jump to Chicago, and I'm going to go into acting school. And she ran the law firm while I went to acting school. This is all in my book in detail, tú sabes. Pero, and I got kicked out of acting school 6 months later because I had by then connected with Michael Kendo in Chicago, and we were starting to do shows. Mm-hmm. And you are not supposed to do shows during your first year of acting school, which is ludicrous to me, right? Why can't I do? You're teaching me how to perform, and I can't perform. ¿Qué eso?
And I'm doing what you're showing me.
Right. So they kicked me out for that, and they kicked me out because during that time I was going through a lot of personal issues, being separated from my then wife and my son. And I was a mess emotionally. And they said, you got too many personal. They literally said that the director goes, you got too many personal problems going on to be a successful actor.
Wow.
And I looked at him and I said, isn't that a prerequisite to being a successful actor? Don't you got to be messed up in the head? Good though. I thought I'm taking. I mean, I would take my problems and I would take them all out on stage. And I had teachers tell me after my scenes. I had this guy say to me, you're raw, man, but you're too dangerous. You're just too dangerous. I'm like, how the hell? What are you talking about? Yeah, you look like. I had this other guy go, you look like you were losing control there. I go, ay, Dios mío, me tienen miedo. For real? Tienen miedo. And I was never not in control, right? Because they don't understand that performing for students in a little black room was nothing compared to performing in front of a jury.
Oh, yeah.
And the client was facing 15 years in prison. That's pressure. So I learned to control my emotions then. So to perform in a little cuartito, estudiante, these little white kids, 25-year-old white kids, it's like summer camp. No. For me, I was bringing life. I mean, I was the oldest student. I was bringing, my stakes were high. I didn't leave my life so I could play camp with you. Entiende? I left my life so I could change my life. And in changing my life, I was going to change yours too. So I took my craft seriously. And so when they kicked me out, I said, you know what? Give me a letter explaining, detailing the reasons why you're botándome de la escuela, because I wanted as fuel for my motivation. And I was determined that I was going to be the most successful student that ever walked through those doors. And 3 years after they kicked me out, that school closed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I am still grateful that they gave me the opportunity. And I'm also grateful that they kicked me out, because then that launched me into the next part of my career. And I me and Mike Oquendo, he produced a bunch of shows for me, and Made in Puerto Rico turned into, my second show, Law and Disorder, and then it came into Capicu, my all Spanish play, and I'm No Romeo, and Mira Que Nice, and Solo, and One Big Happy Familia, and Words Cannot Explain, Jibaro Soy. All those shows, 9 to 10 in total, all those shows came from this hunger to finally do what I feel I was meant to do, and this desire to prove people wrong, que pensaban que I wasn't gonna make it. So from Chicago, I went to New York briefly for a few years, and then I decided to make my home base Florida again, because my son is here, and I needed to be close to my son. I felt like I didn't want him to grow apart from me. Ya estaba en esa edad when he was like 7, 8 years old. Okay, I feel like I needed to be here. And Sandra asked me, she said, "Listen, he's starting to change a little bit. I could use your presence here more, because no matter where I was always here. I would always find a way to be here at least once or twice a month." Pero llegó un punto where the separation was starting to get to be too much, and Sandra and I talked about it, and we thought it was best to come here. And then I transitioned here, and then from here, from Florida, I just travel a lot, where I was finally able to make it off Broadway a year ago, and that was, again, a huge blessing. So I've given you the story. I'm sorry if I skipped a couple of steps, but
No,
the,
that
the,
says a lot.
the nice is that the book hopefully the book will come out either later this year or early next year. The book kind of just goes into depth of that journey, which I thought was important to tell, right? For a bunch of reasons. One is, it's never too late to really pursue your dream, right? And what I've always been attracted to is people that go for it, people that make this jump, right?
Right.
We never hear about the middle stuff. We always hear about the beginning and the end, right?
Right.
This is who I was, and now look at me now. Sorry. But I was always drawn to stories that talk about the middle, the gooey stuff,
Right.
the nights that I spent, sleeping under a table in my brother's little apartment in
Right.
Chicago.
The background.
Right. And it's, well, don't just tell me about it. You know what I mean? Like, bring me in. And I was always driven by that. You know how my brother was then studying law school. My younger brother was going to law school. Once I was pursuing comedy, and he was on a very tight budget, and him and his wife could only make so much food, and whatever they had left was for me. But if I was still hungry, that's it, pa. There's nothing else.
Wow.
Because el dinero que tenía yo it was from my wife and my son back home. I wasn't going to start draining that.
Right.
So for me, that's the story that needs to be told, because that's what motivates or instructs people about how to pursue their dream, right? Because it's going to be difficult, but once it gets difficult, I was always drawn to stories of how do you still see your goal when things get really bad? Bring me to that moment when that person goes, yo, what am I doing? Entiende?
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing any of this, man. I had a Mercedes back home. They repoed it. I lost it.
Oh, wow.
People don't know that. People don't know that I had a house, and they foreclosed on it. I went bankrupt. I lost everything.
Wow.
I lost everything, and I got a divorce. I lost my wife. I lost
Right.
all of it. Pero people wouldn't be able to tell that now. But it's not enough for me to be like, oh, and now I'm okay. Now my ex-wife is one of my best friends, and
Right.
my fiance and her get along perfectly. And
Mhm.
now I have a car, I have a house. No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the middle.
Right. How you
The
got there.
Right. So the book talks about the middle. How I was able to, or even now, how am I still able to focus on the goal despite the distractions? Because aparentemente, right, with life, you learn que there's always going to be distractions. There's
Yeah.
always going to be obstacles. Siempre.
Definitely.
Look at us now. We went from
Right.
COVID-19 to George Floyd. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh.
You
Yes.
know, siempre va a haber algo. It's never going to be like the right time.
Mhm.
Yo voy a esperar que todo esto se calme para yo entonces. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. You
That's
know,
right.
this goes for anything. This goes for getting married, for having
Yeah.
kids. Mira, Emily y yo. we were supposed to get married at the end of the year, pero con este revuelo, no, pero maybe we should, we should wait until there's always going to be
Yeah.
something. And if you're looking for that perfect time, it's really because you're looking for excuses not to do it, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Yo voy a esperar que tenga, I need to save up some money so that I can, nah, man, it's never going to be the right time to do something.
That's right.
At some point, you're going to have to say, I'm going to make it the right time, tener la fe en Dios, right? And
Mhm.
have that self-conviction to make the time perfect for you.
Right.
Because if you're waiting for it to be objectively perfect, it never will be. I guarantee you, no matter what example you throw at me, getting a house, having a kid, getting married, quitting your job, pursuing your dream, whatever it is never. ¿Tú me entiendes? Nobody's ever going to knock at the door. Ah, ¿quién es? Ah, it's me telling you que it's the right time. Ah, ay, qué bueno. I was tracking your progress on my tracker, my dream tracker, y dice, I expected between 2 and 5. Ay, llegaste. Qué bueno. Now I can finally do what I always wanted to do. Ay, qué bueno, gracias. Thank you for letting me know. No, you gotta do it. Yeah.
Well, a few things when I'm done laughing. My first curious question. My sister's husband is always joking, right? And every time I say he's so funny, you must laugh all day long. And she goes, no, you get tired of it. Does your family get tired of it, or do they find you like funny? Does your son still find you funny?
Oh, they find me oh, they love it. No, es que, ¿cómo te digo? I don't care. You understand?
Right,
It's kind of like once you know who you are,
right,
it doesn't matter
right.
como otros te ven, right? You're never checking in. You never like, hey, mira, am I being too funny? Am I annoying you? Let me know if I'm annoying you so I can bring it back, okay? And bring it back. Okay, I don't want to be too much meat. Am I being too much meat? No. You're just you. So si cae bien, great. Si cae mal, mala mía. I'll see you tomorrow. Um, pero once you discover who you are, you're comfortable in your own skin,
No
you're not
importa.
going to be looking to get anything back. I will tell you that my son is 13, so
Mm.
he's your typical teenager. He doesn't like to be amused much. Tú sabes. He's too cool. So when I make him laugh, he fights it. Tú sabes, he fights it. Um, I know, like your children, when you have a positive effect on them, and
Right.
I know I have a positive effect on them because I make him laugh, and more importantly, I make his mother laugh.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So when I make Sandra laugh, he laughs,
Yeah.
and in doing that, I know I'm okay. I show his mother love, and I show him love, and I show him a lot of affection, and that's because I'm comfortable in my own skin.
Right.
Emmeline, you'd have to ask her. I think we laugh a lot, and mostly at her expense because I'm either making fun of her or I'm scaring her. I'm always jumping out of corners and terrifying her and screaming. But that's just to keep things fun. And with my parents, I mean, there's nothing greater than making my parents laugh, man.
I just watched yesterday on your YouTube, not your YouTube, on your, I guess you posted a previous live on your Facebook of when you made your parents laugh during the quarantine,
Not
and you
great.
were asking your mom and your parents who was the favorite child.
Oh, so good. It's so good. Now I know I can make my mom laugh if fácil. But my papi is a little difficult. But
Right.
once I get in esa onda where I find something funny, it's like if I'm doing a show. If I'm doing a show and I see somebody laughing really hard at something, right? I can either keep going or just twist it a
A
little.
little
Just
bit more.
so I've had people tell me like, "Oh my god, I can't be like I stop. I can't. This is too much." Like, "Oh my god, I can't inhale it." You know what I mean? Like, "Me va a matar." I just just make him. I just want him. I want to make him cry. You know what I mean?
That was us at your show in November.
Right. So with my father, once I find that little onda that whatever makes him kind of laugh a little bit, I just keep I just because I want to make him giggle like I heard him giggle when I was a teenager. Uh, so they love it when I make fun of like their church friends, um, or because there's like they have a different language. en español. Ellos hablan así, ¿no? Porque no son de Puerto Rico, ¿no? Son de otros países. Entonces, entonces ellos son bien formales. Buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Entonces, son personas buenas, ¿no? Entonces ellos frecuentan a la iglesia muchas veces. Entonces se conocen así y se hablan así. Entonces, Eli, una pregunta. Tú y yo es comediante, ¿no? Ah, qué bueno. De colores, de colores. ¿De dónde saca ese sentido de humor? Porque es magnífico. So, I love that my parents find that funny.
I'm
Uh,
crying.
find that funny. So my mom is the unofficial mayor of White Plains, and Latino person in the community knows and loves my mom. And my mom has this amazing ability that no matter where you're from, what country you're from, my mother will assimilate your dialect and then like talk it back to you, right? So my mother was a Girl Scout leader for like 40 years, right? So they could be like, Millie, hola, Millie, Millie, ¿dónde están las galletitas? Para darle a las muchachitas las galletitas para darle a la muchachita que tiene hambre, right? And my mother will just take that and she'd be like,
Oh,
hola, pero si están aquí. Aquí está, Marta. Busca las galletas. And I'm like, Mom, why are you talking like that?
oh my God, I'm crying.
Where did you get that from? Hey, Lisa, es que están pidiendo las galletas. I'm like, dude, that's not even how we talk. We Puerto Rican. Elisa, ya es que así me entienden mejor. Si hablo así, me entienden. Es que yo hablo igual a todo el mundo hablo igual. No, you don't. You don't even sound right. You don't even sound right.
You're making me cry.
Yeah.
I'm
So
crying.
I love making my parents laugh, man, is my greatest gift, which is why when I do my shows, they're always clean, right? Mucha gente dice, but I can't believe que your shows are really, really clean. They are because
Oh, they are.
I want your parents, I want my
Yeah,
grandparents, your grandparents. I want to have that sala feel
yeah,
donde estamos en la sala and we're just having fun. Nobody's hablando malo, no hay
right,
doble sentido,
yeah,
nobody's ridiculing nobody. ¿Tú me entiendes?
right,
Listen, other comedians can do that, and that's great. Tú sabes, that's fun. Pero para mí, it's more fun, man, having fun con familia. You know what I mean?
right,
Just entre nosotros, you know?
yeah,
And more than anything, man, is about highlighting our culture.
yeah.
Para mí eso hace falta because the reason why, mira, ve, Sandra just texted me que my son finally woke up. Porque a los 13 años, they like to sleep 14 hours. We had to do a wellness check at noon and at 1 porque ese nene duerme. So he's finally up. He likes to get up in the PM. So it's about highlighting our culture because, listen, it's not enough that Latinos are highlighted on TV, okay? We used to go from, mira, I want to see myself on screen, right? I want to see me on that screen. Okay. Lo que yo quiero ahora is I want to hear me on screen. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that mucha gente cree que Latino or Hispanic television is one thing. Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos al programa de. That's not necessarily. That's not even me. You understand? Telemundo, tu canal, siempre. Nobody talks like that. You understand? Pero if you look at Telemundo and you look at Univision, you would think que el hispano es una persona. Nosotros, nowadays, we speak Spanglish.
Yeah,
The younger generations understand Spanish, are not too comfortable with speaking it, but they understand it,
right,
which means they are willing to embrace the culture. Pero they're not going to watch Telemundo
yeah,
or Univision. They're not going to watch those stupid shows on Univision. Okay? Que Don Francisco went from Univision to Telemundo, Telemundo lo votó, and now they're going to get the next Don Francisco, right? there needs to be something else where at least the Puerto Rican voice, por ejemplo, gets heard a little bit more. Now you will say, but what about los programas en Puerto Rico? Los programas en Puerto Rico are the same they've been since 1976.
Yeah.
So yo voy a Puerto Rico and I watch the shows. I don't get it. I understand them. I don't get it. Y aquí, ¿qué hay para mí aquí? ¿Qué hay para mí? Ah, you got Univision. That's not me. I understand it, but that's not me.
Yeah.
I understand it, but that's not me. What's me? What about me? Right? What about me? Porque we can watch NBC like we can watch MTV, like we can watch BET, like we can watch Univision. But where's my channel? Where's my show?
Right.
Donde estamos hablando como you and I are speaking right now. Mm-hmm. We can go from Spanish to English and English to Spanish. That's power.
Yeah.
And yet no network or no producer sees that. No, tiene que ser español nada más, no hable inglés, right? That's how people have talked to me at interviews. We're talking like this before the interview. Oh, it's a pleasure to have you, Ellie. I'm so glad you're. It's a pleasure. I've been wanting to interview you for a long time. It's amazing the things that you've been able to do. Are we ready to start? Okay, we're ready to start in 3, 2, 1.
Muy buenos días, y estamos aquí otra vez entrevistando a los mejores artistas del entretenimiento. Hoy tenemos a Eli Castro. Eli, muy buenas tardes.
I'd be like, yo, we were just talking like this.
Normal.
So I'll start off I'll be like, oh no, muchas gracias. It's nice to be here. No, tienes que decirlo en español, porque la gente no entiende. And I'd be like, but we in Florida. Ay, yo sé, pero en el mercado, la audiencia, en español. And I'd be like, yeah, but when they leave their house, right, they speak in English, right? When they go to public, they don't go, mira, ¿dónde está el jamón? No, they go, where's the ham? Pero te entienden. No, tienes que decirlo, porque si lo mezclan, la gente se insulta, se enfogona, nos llaman, se quejan y no van a oír la radio. Nobody listens to the radio anyway. Nobody. Okay? Nobody. Okay? Lo que están oyendo es tu mamá y la mamá de prima. You know what I'm saying? I have issue with that. Like, don't tell me what language to speak. If we bilingual, let's just let it flow. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't force me to communicate in a certain way. Don't force me to express myself in a certain way. Let me be me. And that's something that I've been fighting my whole career. And that's why my shows are in Spanglish. That's why my shows are free. People tell me, oh, ese nuevo show tuyo, is it English, Spanish? What percentage? Pues it's 80% English, 40% Spanish, y 10% embuste. I don't know. Can you understand me right now? Then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Entiende algo. Lean over, ask somebody. Experience. Be like, mira, que what was that? Que he se va. Y quiere después. It happens all the time. Pero don't put me in that box. And that's unfortunately where we are in the entertainment industry when it comes to Latinos, right? We in a box. And if you're a Puerto Rican comedian who expresses himself clean in a bilingual way, rayo, ¿dónde lo ponemos? You know what I mean? So the more English language, Latino themed shows I see, the happier I get. Anytime you have a Latino speaking English with some Spanish about hopefully, oh my God, hopefully, positively, okay? Not ridiculing, okay? Positively about our culture, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in because they are reaching that next generation. And that's important. Porque el hijo mío, por ejemplo, is not fluent in Spanish. He doesn't know Spanish 100%. And that needs to be okay.
Yeah, it does.
Pero si él lo va entendiendo poco a poco, right? If I'm English y cambio español, and he starts putting the pieces together y le gusta, he's going to develop that interest. ¿Qué dijo ahí? He's going to develop that interest and maybe learning a little more. And that's my goal, is to put that seed of interest so that he wants to learn a little bit more about our language and our culture.
Right.
You don't have to force it. You don't have to lock them in a room. Pero keep them engaged. Viste, keep them engaged. And
Yeah.
that's the purpose of Spanglish, is to keep not just the next generation engaged, but keep el americano engaged, right? Keep
Yeah.
the non-Spanish speakers engaged. So
Yeah.
then, you know what? I don't know a lick of Spanish, but I understood half of what he was saying. You know what I mean? I've had people tell me that. I've had people tell me that. I don't know any Spanish, and I still when you spoke Spanish, I still understood you because of your mannerisms and your gestures and the way you would kind of translate it afterwards. I got you. When I do a show, when I write a show, I got you. So if I go all Spanish, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna come back to it. I'm not gonna translate it word for word, but you're gonna get it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not gonna isolate you the way my teachers isolated me or my friends isolated me growing up,
Right.
because I didn't know how to say certain words,
Yeah.
like the word debut. Debut. It's spelled Debut, debut.
Yeah. You're right.
When they tell a fourth grader who just came from Puerto Rico to read the following sentence, and you're like, the actors debut. Se ríe. Yo dije, dice debut. No es debut. Ahora me dice debut. ¿Qué es eso, debut? ¿Dónde tú sacaste? ¿Qué dice? Debut. ¿Cuántas letras tú tienes allá? Ya, la mía tiene 5, dice debut. ¿De dónde tú sacas debut? Mira esta ridícula, hay que debut. ¿De dónde tú sacas debut? De debut. You know what I'm saying? People don't appreciate that. So having done that, having been through that, I don't ridicule people, right? If you're at my show and you go, I don't know what that means, I don't go, mira este ridículo, estúpido. No, I got you. I work with
Yeah.
you. My shows are all inclusive because there's plenty to make fun of without ridiculing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In essence, what my shows are about.
So a few things with that. Well, the man who was sitting next to us actually at our show, when we went in November, he was a gringo, and he understood and was laughing just as hard as we were through the whole thing. So no lie, you really get the people laughing, especially at your shows. He was laughing as hard as we were, so he got it. But the other thing I just want to say, taken from everything that you've said, is that there's so much negativity going on, and your comedy is what is getting people through it, which is like one of the biggest reasons why, when we decided to put this show together, you were the first name that everybody was saying, like, we need someone who's going to keep the show going, someone that's going to make people there, and someone that's going to make people laugh, because este tiempo está bien mal. I'm in Philly, and
It's
I
bad.
mean, you hear explosions all day and gunshots and looting, and we need positivity right now. And you literally, like, every time I get the notification that you're live, I go on. And everybody in my household is like, you're such a stalker. But every time you go on, I go, because if I'm in a bad mood or I'm depressed, like, you definitely lift spirits. So that's one of the major reasons why we wanted you to join us. I know we took up more of the time than what we thought we would, but
Ah, pero mira, I did want to say this.
yes,
It is a tough time. It is a very difficult time, which is why on this week's podcast episode, I make a point of saying, listen, I'm not ignoring the situation.
yeah,
We are in it,
right,
pero sometimes we need to take a little break.
yeah,
For your mental health, you just sometimes just take a little break, because
definitely,
nowadays you can literally watch and be involved in something 24 hours a day.
yeah, very true,
That's not good either. Yes, be informed, but know when to take a step back
yeah,
and remember to look at things that make you smile, make you laugh,
mhm,
just so that you can inhale, okay? So that you can recuperate
yeah,
before you go back into the nonsense, into the madness that we live in, that we're surrounded with 24 hours a day. So
definitely,
my podcasts and my lives and Facebook and Instagram are meant to just have a little bit of an escape,
mhm,
because we all need that. We forget that we need that. right? Until you laugh at something, you go, that felt good. It's because you needed it. It's because your mind, your mental health needed it.
Definitely.
So my podcast, the Ellie Castro Show, is supposed to give you that little respite, that 30-minute little respite for you to kind of recharge.
It is. So just pretty much close out, I just wanted to know, I mean, because we have different people. Well, I'll say this before I say that. We asked the DJ he's originally from New York, but now he's in Connecticut. He's in like the freestyle genre. That's just his thing. He's very well known for that. He knew that you were coming on and he's familiar with you. He said, make sure that I'm not on when he's on because soy hispano y boricua, but I got the long hair and I know he's going to tear me up. So, people are all like, I got to get ready. I'm scared of Ellie.
Yeah. Especially in my Instagram lives, right? You know what? Talking to you now, I think I might go on live tonight. But yeah, if people are watching, I just randomly call people and we just have fun. We just have fun.
Yeah, like getting stuck in the shower because I'm a sangana and I should have just ignored the call. But it was a good show.
It was.
To close it out, the only last thing that I want to ask is, so many people, I'm sure, invite you to so many things. Why did you accept to come and actually just be a part of Bomba Live? Why was that something that you decided to say yes to?
Why not? Because it was
Okay.
Yeah, it was anytime that I get to, meet new people, have new experiences, it's all good. I mean, look at the amazing conversation we had today, right?
Right.
So if you say no to opportunities because they're not perfect, for example, then you don't really grow, right? It goes back to what I was saying. You can't wait for things to be perfect or for that knock at the door to tell you the following opportunity is perfect.
Right.
If for me, it's always been about feel, right? If I feel good with the people that I'm working with, if I feel good with the idea, then I'm throwing myself all in, right? Because it's about surrounding yourself with the kind of the right people. If it doesn't feel right, then don't. Pero this felt right, and it's like, okay, me van a pagar con comida. I heard you guys are going to be sending me.
We're going to send it right to Florida.
Son arroz con pernil and son pastelillo de guayaba.
Y mucho pegado.
Yeah, so I'm like, that sounds good. If they're going to pay me with food like that, con un lechón and everything, I'm like, yeah, I can't say no to that.
Well, Ellie, thank you so much for taking this time out of your day. I know you didn't have to, but listen, it was an amazing conversation. I swear that I'm one of your biggest fans in Philly. I love you. I think you're amazing. What you're doing is phenomenal. And even more so, I'm just proud that you're a Boricua who's doing it. That's something that we're highlighting in this show, just Boricua talent amongst a lot of different people. We have some great iconic people who will be on the show, but we are so, so, so happy that you're one of those people because listen, you bring happiness to a lot of homes and we just want to continue to just spread that happiness. And we know that that's something that you're going to do for us that day. And, like I said at the beginning of this, if you guys are not following Ellie Castro Comedy, go to Facebook, Instagram, go to YouTube. He's hilarious. You will thank me later. He is amazing. Ellie, thank you so much. I hope Florida stays caliente because it's getting cold, hot, cold. It's horrible over here in Philly. I wish that's where I was.
We got plenty of heat.
Oh, I wish I was in heat right now. Have a good day. Thank you so much, Ellie.
Bye.
It was a great conversation. Bye-bye.
Gracias.